Live.
Not on.
Now we're live. Oh, here we are.
We are waiting for our guest. She's having connection problems, it looks like.
Yeah, but we'll get there. Welcome, everybody.
We'll get her here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Teleport her in.
And if you are watching this live, you are able to post stuff down below, and we should be able to answer that. But today, what we wanted to talk to you about is being triggered into illusion. And what that's talking about is, if you watch the recent video, stop doing that. What we were talking about is the thought processes that create what you think somebody else is saying and why those show up. And before we get there, first of all, maybe we should introduce ourselves. I'm Lee, that's Sherry. Or that's Sherry and I'm Lee, however you want to look at it. Well, maybe not. But we are from Relationship Reinvented, which this year is going to be touring across the world, which is going to be a whole lot of fun.
Across the United States this summer, and then we are going to be going abroad in the fall. Abroad meaning Australia. And then next year we're going to be traveling to other countries as well. So
yes,
we will post our tour dates underneath the video later.
Yes, as well as you can find it, you'll be able to find it on relationshipreinvented.com, which is going to be going through a much needed overhaul.
Big cities, New York, we're coming. LA, Los Angeles, that is LA. That is LA,
yeah.
Isn't it? Las Vegas.
Did you say LA then Los Angeles?
Yes, I did. Because, they're two separate entities in my mind.
Yes.
Las Vegas, Florida, Atlanta, Chicago. We're coming.
Yay. Oh, look who's here. Oh, we have a guest.
Oh my gosh.
Perfect timing.
I'm triggered now.
Hold on, let me turn it down just a little bit. There. We're just talking about our tour that's up and coming, and we're talking about all the wonderful things we're doing. We started our coaching, and we are just doing
coaching certification program. We got amazing coaches in training. Yay. That'll be great.
Yes. And how are you?
Yes.
I'm doing excellent. I just went through a whole journey with these energies, and I'm out the other side, and I'm feeling really good. So
good.
More healing, more core wound healing and stuff like that. So I'm excited about what we're talking about.
As it relates, that's actually where the actual triggers come from wounds. And what we were going to talk about is, we did our video, Stop Doing That. And we were talking about some of the things that happen to you that cause you to look at other people and make yourself think you know what they're thinking. Based upon things that have happened to you. Case in point, we actually have been talking about how we derive at different thought processes and how they don't match what our dreams are versus what our reality is. And then when we're going through reality, we're looking and we're going, this is kind of what I thought this was going to be.
Can I ask you a question really quick about that? So do you feel that because of our own wounding and the things that we're processing on an inner level, that we project that outwards to think that other people are in fact matching up with what our wounds are? Or are we, because we're sensitive and intuitive as well, so we can feel what other people are feeling, but when we're in that wounded place, I feel we are making some projections, I think, a lot of times. Do you agree with that?
Yes. An example of that would be, if you're in the constant thought processes, I'm going to be rejected, I'm going to be rejected, I'm going to be rejected, I'm going to be, let's say you woke up this morning and that's what your thought process was. And even though it might not have been as audible, what happens to you throughout your day?
Get rejected.
Yeah, and that's the part where we're saying stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is you're having a thought process thinking what other people are doing, not realizing that what you're doing to yourself in that moment is the word rejection itself. So as an energy, you put off an energy that you're rejecting everybody else, where in fact, you're thinking they're rejecting you. Does that, hopefully Oh my God, I thought when we try to make sure that we're saying this in such a way that it can be understood, with all of the mystical way that this connection works, you have to sometimes break it down to just the bare way of looking at it. If you walk around with the energy of love, you'll get love.
I love that. That's important, you know, because that's the conclusion that I keep coming to. If I just hold a space of love and hold a space of just that balance, then that is what will be, you know, received by me and what will transmit out to others. But as we're moving through our core wounds and our, you know, our triggers and all of this and the illusion of that, and it goes back to childhood, right? It goes back to, you know, where you weren't given what you needed. And so you feel that everyone else out there isn't going to give you what you need, especially your twin, because your twin represents this powerful energy that really makes it clear, you know, that you're not going to get what you need. Again.
The twin actually, in particular, what we experienced, the twin was actually there to open those wounds up even wider for us to look at them differently.
Right. I was completely triggered into illusion this morning.
Tell us about that.
Completely triggered into human illusion this morning.
Yes.
When when I was looking for a specific set of papers that I needed for a meeting this morning, Lee has a personal set and I have a personal set, and we have them in an envelope together. And then we have our separate sets. Well, I really needed this set of papers, and I knew that they were in an envelope together, my set and his set. I knew that they were. However, I found 2 envelopes with just his set. And as soon as I found them, it automatically triggered me. He took my set out and put his set in the envelope and put them in the file where they belong. And my set wasn't there. So here I am going through things, and out loud I said, oh God, he is so selfish. And Cameron, our 6-year-old, was eating breakfast, and he said, who's selfish, Mom? And I said, Lee, he's so selfish sometimes. He took my papers out, and then as I was going through and I took a bunch, I found the combined set in a you know, in the same envelope that they were in the bottom of the drawer, where in fact he had not done that, but I was immediately triggered into the illusion that he was selfish and took the set out. And when he came down the steps, I just looked at him like, God, how could you be so selfish all the time? And I didn't even apologize because he didn't even know.
Well, right, but I felt the energy, and then I hear this. And
so you can feel the energy. Will you talk a little bit about that? Like how you feel when she gets like, he's so selfish. Like how do you feel the energy?
It comes out, the way that we portray or project that out is her immediate response was, after I get out of bed, is, are you feeling okay today? It comes out as a question about my energy and where my energy is. I'm like, okay, let's do a self-check. What did we do? So here's how it shows up. I'm selfish now is now pointed at me, and now I'm looking in self-reflection for the ish. Do you follow what I'm saying? It almost comes across completely as though, okay, it's going to be about me today, about how I'm going to be and what's going on inside of me. And I'm under a microscope in myself, which is never a good sign. But at the same, I don't know whether to be good or bad in it. So then I'm going, okay, what did we do now? And I didn't do anything.
Recognize that it's, do you think it's you feeling like, what did I do? Or do you know where it's coming from?
Coming from my energy projecting that he had done something. First of all, let's make it real clear that it was an illusion. He is not selfish. And, but it did trigger me into the illusion that he was selfish, and actually, and in my mind created the story that he actually took my set of papers out, and so they wouldn't touch his set with his name on them. And I mean, it turns into a big story. He didn't want the papers touching because my name was on his, and put him in a different file, and mine didn't mean nothing, so he put him someplace else, and I can't find them because his set is where they're supposed to be in the correct file, and where the hell are mine? So it created a great big huge story of all of these things that he did that he didn't actually do. It was a story. It wasn't even there. So when he came down the steps, I had released some of the energy because I had found the papers, but then I was still carrying that illusion of.
And this is what we have noticed since we've been doing everything that we've been doing. We're watching all of these different energies, the primary energy being infected with the energy that creates this illusion, and it comes from in here.
Mm.
So when we're watching, these connections never come in to where they're supposed to come into. It's because of the lack of transparency and the thought process that's being created, and exposing that thought process to get rid of it.
So let me ask you this question real quick. If that's the case, wouldn't it take just one person to create the space of that clarity and that knowingness of what's actually going on to create more balance within the union? Obviously, we always try to project it out on the other person, but we really have to take responsibility on an inner level to know these things and then to start practicing them. And that can bring some harmony to the situation, right?
Yes. However, if the other person allows themselves to take on that energy and starts going in themselves to find the flaws, to find, what have I done? What have I done? Did I do that? Not even knowing, oh, could I have possibly done that? Not even knowing what the energy was about, you know. He had no idea that that thought process was in me, none. I found the papers before he came downstairs, and everything was fine. But he could tell that something in me was just frustrated. And if he can choose, or they can choose to take it on or to not take it on. There are times when I'm just frustrated. I want to be frustrated, and that's how it is. And he will come downstairs, or he will come in the office and completely embrace me and hold me and tell me, he's not even knowing what it is, tell me that it's okay, and completely release the energy.
But he's not always going to be in a state where he can actually do that, which we wish that could be.
There are times when he absorbs that energy and he goes into himself and he tries, and he creates a story of the flaws that are in him. And we both do it.
Everybody does it.
Everybody does it.
Everybody does it.
He's not talking to me because, and in all reality, he just doesn't feel well, or
right.
We tend to create all these stories inside of us, and then we project instead of first going in and saying, okay, why am I feeling this way? What was it that triggered this emotion in me? And why am I feeling that he's not talking to me, or he's being elusive, or he's being confrontational or judgmental? When first, if you stop and take a look inside yourself, well, I'm not feeling good today. I'm not feeling happy, or I'm feeling puffy, or I'm feeling, puffy's a good word.
Right.
I feel puffy a lot.
Puff mommy, not puff daddy, not to be confused.
Or I'm feeling in general judgmental on myself, right? Then I'm going to say, well, you're not talking to me because I'm puffy today.
Right. And then all of a sudden now I take full responsibility for whatever it is that she's enduring without even hearing where the story arrived from. So the trigger, the illusion is that I can do something to come into that energy and change it if it's not exposed. Exposed. You can't see, again, this is why we talk about transparency. This is why we tell our truth. This is why we stand here and tell you everything as it is. And we don't sugarcoat anything. And we also found this vastness of love that's in this area that doesn't have anything to do with, you know, she's the answer to all of my problems. I'm the answer to all of her problems. Problems are gone. We're never going to have them again. No, 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 no. True communion happens in communication.
Yes.
And communication is communion. If you're not communicating, and you're creating these stories in your head, and then you're having a conversation with the other person, setting the booby traps for them to step in, don't worry, they're going to step on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like walking into a minefield. The thing is now when I walk through the minefield, I'm walking through getting blown up and then coming in until I can get here.
Oh.
I don't care if I get, the thing is the shrapnel and all the pieces and all the things that I'm going to endure coming into that, that's my choice to love that or not. I love it all.
It's
That's
so beautiful the way that you just described that. It's beautiful, you know, exactly.
It's a challenge though, Angelica. If you look at it, the challenge is that you got to overcome the mind and its need to create survival, its need to create protection, where in fact, it's the one creating all the scenarios that are already doing these bad things to you that you can't survive.
Yes. For me, it's what's really big is protection. I've built a lot of walls around, I feel that I've worked really hard and I worked a lot on myself as a person, but then allowing the actual connection to come in has been difficult for me. That's the wall that I've built because I've had to make myself safe. And so a lot about what just happened to me in this past couple of weeks, I've had to really release a lot of that stuff. And I think it's important for people to know, like what you said, is like getting through all the fire, you know, the fire or whatever, the bullets, and realizing that moving into that is what's, you know, opening up some of these protective barriers. And it's not going to feel good. It's going to be painful. And that by moving through that and experiencing it and embodying yourself again, that's the answer. And that is what you get. You come back into that space of love. But it's like we're always kind of trying to move around those spaces within us because we feel so much fear and so much like we have to protect ourselves, but they no longer apply. Those protective mechanisms no longer apply, and they definitely don't apply within a union. Within this type of union, you could be in a regular relationship, yeah, but with a high intensity union, like we want, and like we're trying to create, these things cannot be there. They all have to go away, and we have to walk through it in order to get there. There's no easy way around it.
One of the more powerful things that you can realize is to realize the truth about why the universe created pain. The universe created pain so we could be birthed through. If we make it something else, if we make pain this thing that, you know, is going to create suffering. Suffering is running away from pain, not in it.
Yeah.
It's exactly what Lee and I were talking about today when we were having brunch. We were talking about a very painful time that we went through, and it's and I said, you know, it was just hard. He said that was a very hard time for us. It was a very hard time for us, but he said, but we got through it, and yes, we did. However, the universe's plan that it had for us, we had rejected at that time, and we were speaking of allowing that rejection or allowing the universe to take us in another direction. And a lot of people will take a situation like that or a no, or when the gavel falls on anything, on any circumstance, in any life situation. You know, if even when the gavel fell, when the judge said, you know, this much time, and I didn't accept that, and it was only half. But any situation when the gavel falls, as long as we accept that this isn't the way we're going, we have to go another way.
Right.
This isn't a no, or this isn't the war is not over. The battle is lost.
This isn't the final. This isn't the final of anything.
There's never a final decision. This isn't the war that's lost. This is just the battle that's lost. And we have to find, or not even find, we have to allow the openness that the universe needs us to have to move us in the direction that the universe needs us to go, not that we need to go. And
yes, so we try to take the control,
take the matters into our own hands and make it the way we want it to be. And the struggle with that is where a lot of those triggers come from.
Yep.
A lot of those triggers come from is fighting the universal plan.
Mm.
Wow, that's huge.
Losing battles and saying, well, it's over.
Right. They've moved on without me.
Yep, they're married to somebody else.
They're married to somebody else. They're gonna have a child. Duh.
Yeah.
Understand, greater love doesn't happen by you going, okay, I surrender and I've lost. Greater love happens in going, I still love them anyway.
I still love them anyway, no matter what. I'm going to hold that space of love.
And I'm still connected to them. And I'm always going to be connected to them. And it doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 months, 5 years, or 5 centuries. When the universe decides to, the decision is yours, really. The decision is yours.
Mm-hmm.
When you're free and you're clear and you're open to the universal plan, and the other one is free and open and ready to accept the universal plan, that's when union happens. And it only happens in the truth. It only happens in the truth. There can be no deception. There can be no lies. There can be no manipulation. There can be nothing. It has to be completely transparent. Completely transparent. There cannot be anything hindering, making battles to lose, forming battles and making them to lose, then give up. We've lost the war.
Yes.
We've lost the war. It's over. Sherry got married to Ron.
They're going to have a baby.
They're going to have a baby. War over.
I'm a womanizer. The war is not so much in the things that happen. The war happens on the inside when you've given up and you surrendered, and then you've punished yourself, and you're going to continue to punish yourself by saying that what choices you make from this point on are going to be about punishing yourself, because you're punishing yourself when you go, they're never going to be with me. Oh, they won't answer me. Oh, they're going to think I'm batshit crazy. And the moment you say, I think they're going to think I'm batshit crazy, that's what we call self-judgment, because the other person didn't vocalize it. You did to yourself.
Right.
And pointed at them.
You were just saying something, Lee, about surrendering. And then, so when you say surrender, it's more like what Sherry said, surrendering to the universal plan, but you said something about surrendering and then it being all over. What's the difference in that?
To surrender, for it to be, to accept what is. If you can't accept what is, you're doing the whole thing to the universe that really shows the universe says, okay, I'm going to give you exactly what you're saying. You're going to resist the present moment, and the present moment is resisting you.
The universal plan is being resisted.
You got to surrender. Surrender to what is. I surrender to what is. Can I see the love and why I should do that? Yeah, because I'm going to make myself suffer if I resist what is. And if I'm saying, here I am suffering, you come and save me, but I'm suffering the present moment, I'm resisting it.
Yeah.
Who in the hell is going to save you from that?
And it's not anything that we don't hear probably 5 or 6 times a day. They're never going to change. They're never going to get it, guys. They're never going to do their inner work. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You're stuck in time. Mm-hmm. You're saying because of who they were, because of what's going on and what's going on in your present moment that you're resisting, you're pointing at them and saying it's them.
And it's a connection. You break free. It's a domino effect.
You get triggered into the illusion of thinking that if you suffer enough, you're going to change something.
My God.
It sounds funny, but imagine it. Imagine the sadness. Imagine we're going through all of these shifts and planetary movements, all of these things that keep showing up and surfacing. And we're pointing and going, oh, this is going to be horrible. Oh, I feel such great pain. You feel such great pain because it's pointing and saying, why are you resisting what is?
Yes.
It's going to show up physically, what you're doing in your mental that's affecting your emotional experience. And then it's funny because we'll create new forms of pain to try to attach to the core pain that we didn't birth through in the first place.
When really all the universe is asking you to do is embrace it, and we'll move you on.
Yes.
And we'll move.
That's what I just learned. Like, it just, like, don't, just feel it to the depths. And I've always known that. But it's almost like I was, I did this Omine workshop, and it was like they moved me really deep into something that I wasn't, like, really prepared for. I was like, oh, I can handle anything, you know. And then I moved into this, and I was like calling her, and I said, is this gonna, like, when is this gonna be over? Can you please, like, give me some techniques here? She's like, no, you're running from feeling what it is you need to feel. You need to be in that space fully and experience it, and be with the little girl. Be with the little girl. Just, you know, give her what she needs emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is. Like, be with her. Do not want it to end, right? And I was like, what? Really? So I think that's what you're saying, is just really be in it fully and surrender to the process and allow it just to move through, right?
Yes. And when it comes to your pain, the illusion is that you can attach a state of being to your pain, and you can't. Alone is causing me pain. Loneliness is causing me pain. Being disconnected is causing me pain. Birth through the pain then. Don't point at it and make a story out of it, then all of a sudden have this new identity being created out of what you're enduring. Because when you say alone, that's the identity you're going to take on. The identity is I'm going to sit by myself in my home, and I'm going to be depressed, and I'm not going to have anything to do, and nobody's going to want to talk to me. And the universe goes, okay, that's what you want for your present moment.
Illusion triggered by pain.
Triggered into illusion.
It's so hindering. It's hindering because what happens is we're moving along in the universal plan, and we get triggered, and we make this story that we have 4 or 5 months to get through the story now. And then we get through that story, and we get triggered into another illusion, and there's 4 or 5 months or a year to get through that story.
What do you think is a good technique then, like in your view of when you start feeling this? What is a good way to switch it without the story, switch it in the direction to where it's actually going to be healing and it's going to move you through it more quickly?
Stop and say to yourself, what is it in me that's triggered that I'm projecting out?
Yep. Then breathe. If you feel pain, when we give birth, don't you have to go ahead and breathe and let the contractions come and feel it? And you know that whatever's coming is what's going to come, but when it comes out, it's going to be beautiful. Mm-hmm. Take that same technique for when you're enduring pain. When you put something else on top of it, oh, it's only because of this and this. And like she said, the story is creating the suffering that's keeping the illusion of time.
So in a sense, what you're saying is don't, when you're feeling this intensity of pain, try not to think, like just turn your mind off and just feel instead. Or, I mean, because it's hard not to think, right? We all think. And I think this is why meditation is actually useful, because we're trying to turn off the mind. But automatically our mind is going to try to attach all these stories to it. Or what I tend to do is I tend to take it all on myself. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? Like, how do I fix this? What is this in me that needs to heal? I usually don't too often times project my stuff outer, but whatever way you're doing it, it seems to be very problematic to attach any kind of thoughts to it at all. Would you agree on that?
Here's the one beautiful thing that I think we've learned from each other throughout our entire union. All things are a meditation, to include thinking. If you are going to believe in what your mind is trying to create for you, don't worry when you fall into it, how fast you're going to be quick to forgive it. That's the meditation part of the mind, is being able to forgive whatever it's going to say or what it's going to do or what it's trying to get you to see, to not fall into it, to create the illusion of what isn't. You can meditate in everything. The choice is yours. Mm-hmm. Meditation is not something we should sit around and practice. We've had tons of practice at thinking, tons of practice. But what about meditation into thought? And going, okay, my thought process says that the things that I witnessed when I came downstairs today was there was something I needed to self-check and see if I was doing the right thing. Wait a minute. I'm doing the right thing. How do I feel? I feel peaceful. Oh, maybe I should walk in and just give her a hug and a kiss. Or wait a minute, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe she's going to reject me if I do that. You see, the meditation is in which one should I choose? Not going into the one and creating this identity that creates and stays with me all day long, where I lose time. I lose the present moment because I'm going to be thinking about this morning and not thinking about now.
So in that, okay, that example you just used, you would want to obviously choose the one, you would always want to choose the one that's more loving then, right?
I would always want to choose the one that's going to make me feel whole. Because if I choose the other one, I'm going to separate and divide myself, and then I'm going to look for somebody to take it out on.
And it goes both ways. You know, stopping before he came downstairs and saying, okay, why am I feeling like I'm attacking him? Where am I at? Right? So I went through like a 5-point check system. I'm frustrated because he's still in bed and I'm down here, right? Doing all this. And okay, so instead of creating a story, accepting that he's very tired, going through all these things and saying, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. It's okay. I found the papers, and I wouldn't have, maybe if I would have just calmed down in the first place, I wouldn't have been, but going in and finding out why I was feeling, you know, like I was about to attack him.
What conclusion did you come to with that?
I come to the conclusion that I was a little bit rushed, and I needed to sit down for, even if it was 5 minutes, and I just sat down here in the office. I just did a quick shut the mind down, like 3-minute meditation, silence. I just silenced myself and silenced my mind and explained to Cameron that nobody's selfish, and and just went on about my day. And when he came downstairs, I was still a little frustrated, but I wasn't frustrated at him. I was frustrated because we were running a little bit late, and I have an issue not with running late. I have an issue with the issue of running late. and I normally let it go all the time, like it doesn't matter. The universe is keeping us from an accident or something happening. So I normally will just let the universe guide us in what we're doing, and realizing that I was absolutely just frustrated for no reason, and I just turned it loose.
And sometimes it's so much that I'm so much in my peace, and I'm doing things just staying in the moment. And we're gonna miss the bus, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it. And she's like, why are you just slacking? Why are you slowing down? Why are you moving slow? And the thing is I try to let her see that I'm just going in motion.
And not even 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, when you just allow things to happen as they're happening, no matter what it is, it all comes together in the end. It all comes together in the end. And even when it comes down to little life situations, and I'm late and all this is going on, there's always, it's a battle lost, not a war lost again. And it happens in our everyday lives where we come home and then it just has turned into a war. We had a situation last week where I was late getting my daughter, and she was at the school, and I didn't know what time the school was closing. We were late getting her for practice, and we were going to go take the kids to get something to eat, and we were stuck in traffic, and I was just a nervous wreck, and I felt myself getting anxious. And I stopped and I said, you know what, calm down. I just calmed myself down. I went into like a minute meditation, shut it down, got real quiet. And then the doors began to open, and I thought, oh, I wonder what my other daughter's doing. I called my other daughter. She just happened to be cruising around town looking for something to do. So I had her go pick up my other daughter, and they met us at the restaurant, and we beat them there.
See, oh, that's so beautiful, Sherry. Oh my God.
Letting go of the anxiety and the thought process, creating the illusion that she's going to be left at school and children's service is going to be called. We're all going to go to jail, and and we just create these big stories. We get triggered into those illusions, and we create these big, especially as moms. It happens to us all the time, and we can't let them stand for 5 minutes, or we're all going to go to hell. It just is a big mess. And if we just release that and allow the universe just to I got this. You don't have to worry about things.
You got to explain the yin and the yang of that, though.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in the vehicle with her, I'm feeling that energy.
Yes.
I'm feeling that energy, and I'm making it about something I did wrong.
Yeah, I'm not driving fast enough. I shouldn't have went another way.
Why did I go this way? What the hell did I do wrong? Oh my God, how am I gonna fix this? Holy shit! Shit's about to hit the fan. We're about to start nitpicking. And this energy. Now, the reason we're choosing to tell you about in this way is think about twins who cannot come together.
So wait, when you said when you're in the car with her and you're feeling this, twins feel this even when they're not in the car with each other. They feel it even if they're on the moon or on Jupiter, right?
Triggered into illusion.
Triggered into illusion. Yes.
Triggered into, I can't fix this. I don't know what to do. Oh my God, this is horrible. Then somebody else who comes along who's easy to fix because they're going to be vocal. And they won't be vocal for very long. So it's always temporary. Thing is the transparency of what that looked like. So when she was going through all of that, she is allowed to have the space to say whatever's in here out loud. Because if not, I start picking up the energy, and then the transparency happened, and why we did that.
So real quick, the difference is in relationship. Even the tiniest bit of a situation as minute as that could end up with, you don't love me enough, and it was my daughter, and if it would have been your son, you would have hurried up and you would have took another way, and it was my daughter, and she was, and anybody could have taken her, and then screw you, I'm not going to dinner, and we're going to go home, and we're going to fight the rest of the night, and I'm going to take a drink, and then it ends in divorce over something so little, and relationship over. Because all these hurtful feelings come out, and all these words come out, and really all you should say is, hey, I'm feeling a little anxious. Well, I'm doing the best I can. We'll just get there.
Wait, do you ever get into that state, and then Sherry, you feel it, or is it mostly like how does that work between the two?
Considering that we both switch, we'll switch roles of feminine and masculine quite a bit.
Okay.
And because once you're in it and you're with each other, we're never apart. So the roles often get switched. And when I'm switched, and then I'm like, and I'll talk to myself, or I'll start throwing around dishes, and then she'll.
You don't break anything.
No, I don't. No, not purposefully. Well, we got plastic cups.
Right.
So, the thing is yes,
he set stuff down real hard.
But here's the thing. Here's what's really interesting about it is when I come out and I have to speak in my ego, and because everybody's got that ego on board, that emotional go-kart. And remember, ego is thoughts, all thoughts, good and bad. I have to really step outside and let my knower talk about what my ego's doing. So then I get to see the internal fight, and then I get to explain it to her. And then she's just, and we've really had a lot of practice at it. It's not like this was how it started and this is the way it's always been. Right. Because of our communication, even at the times when there was no communication, when we came back into communication, it was always constantly talking about the growth we experienced.
Yes.
If you never talk about the growth you experienced, and you want to talk about what the past offered you and what you guys did to one another, don't worry, you're going to be triggered into the illusion of what the past created, and create the past and do the past all over again. Stop doing that. Stay with what you know, because we're growing through this. All of us are growing through this together. Being triggered into the illusion is part of it.
So instead of going into the past and doing all of that, go into this is what I've learned from this experience, and having no blame for the other, but just being really clear on, you know, what you've learned through the experience and how you've grown through that.
The pain of our past birthed this unconditional love that I'm telling you. It is magical because of the pain that we went through to get here.
So beautiful. That's so beautiful. And it's important for people to know that and understand that. Yeah.
It took us a while to figure out that we needed to embrace it instead of resist it.
It did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you have to keep repeating it, the universe is going to keep repeating it until you get that part right. Because without that part, you can't be transparent. You can't stand in it. And you'll never see how you're judging yourself, pointing at other people.
If you're in separation, embrace the separation.
Oh my God. Embrace yourself.
Separation. Yes.
Because what you're saying is that they took something from you where they can't. You're connected. They're going to share the same enduring experience you're going to do. And sometimes what happens is you take it all for yourself. I'm going to sit here and suffer. And they get complete freedom. They get to go live happy. You don't share. Here, have some of this suffering. I don't need it all. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to come to an end on the suffering. And I'm just going to stand here and go, wow, peace. Because in here is what matters. Reading information out there is not going to give you that. Mm-hmm. Reading out there, everything that we want everybody to experience is what's inside you, not what's outside. Because how are you going to share what you're supposed to share or come into a mission or do any of the things you're supposed to do if you don't go inside first?
Yeah.
If you don't spend your time inside, you're going to do outdoor activities. And after a while, you're going to get bored with those activities. That's what a relationship will give you. An indoor relationship with yourself will give you the true love that you have within yourself as a fountain of never-ending youth. So understand we're all going to be triggered into illusion, but also be able to be in your knower and in your knowing to know the difference. If you start something and say something or do something and you think somebody else is the cause of it, look at the mirror of what it's supposed to give you. And don't go into the illusion, become transparent. Man, I was thinking that you said that I was going to be batshit crazy for telling you we're connected. That makes no sense. Oh, I'm triggered because I'm going to tell you we're twin flames. No, stop. Twin flames is in here. Definition, defined, who it is, how it is, and what it's going to be for you in this experience is in here. It's not written out there. Those are rules. Those are steps. Those are stages. Those are the illusion. Those are the triggers for the illusion. In here is not.
That's so true. Oh my gosh. So are you saying it'd be a good idea just for people to speak their truth in whatever they're feeling? I mean, once they come to a place of balance a little bit, you don't want to speak out when you're going through a lot of emotional turmoil, obviously, but you should always speak your truth if you have it to speak, right? Like whatever you...
Especially the emotional turmoil. That's what I'm telling you. The emotional turmoil is the cause. It's behind the emotional turmoil, there's a root. The root of where you learn how to have that emotional turmoil. Mm-hmm. And it comes by feeling. A feeling that's generated, then you go, oh, I remember this feeling, and you result it back to the hamster wheel. And don't worry, we'll make sure we post the hamster wheel for everybody.
No, you don't want that picture.
Oh, I was just telling people I'm like on the hamster wheel, around and round and round until you get so tired, and then you're just like.
But then what happens is you get so tired and you jump off and you take a nap, but then you get up and you jump back on.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
And it's deception.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're moving and you're going somewhere fast, and all you're doing is spinning around and around and around, doing the same damn thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Whoops.
So it's time to jump off the hamster wheel until you get thrown off.
It's time to realize that the hamster wheel is the illusion.
Yeah.
And to realize that the stories are illusions.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm. My twin hasn't talked to me in 5 days. Well, have you talked to him? Well, no. But the whole time I'm creating a story why they're not talking to me.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Talking to me, not realizing that, you know, they've had laryngitis for 5 days and haven't been able to talk to anybody.
That was me last week. I lost my voice. Yeah.
I think somebody posted this, so we'll answer this real quick. This, I believe this is from Blue. Had to add my TF contacted me this week after a year of physical separation with a single question. Did I want to come and pick him up anytime? I replied yes, but I straight away went into a thought. When you say yes, why add anything behind it? The but or anything that's going to follow it is going to be the primary result. Yes means yes. Stick with the yes. Go pick him up. You can't dictate the future. Stay in the present moment. Even when you go to pick them up, you didn't travel into the future and go, this is what's going to happen after I pick him up. That's where fear gets created. The fear and what's going to happen after the fact. A fear based on past principles.
And then you create a story.
And then you create a damn story. And you're triggered into illusion. That the story already took place. And that you're going to endure the same damn thing again. And you will. Welcome to the hamster wheel.
So keep it really simple and just go along with what your heart's telling you in every moment.
It's hard to be that transparent.
It is. Yeah.
The fear is the triggered illusion that you will not be accepted for being in your truth and being transparent.
So once you get there,
Oh
it's so simple. It's hard to become sober. It's hard to put the alcohol down. But once you do, you don't, after a while, you don't even want to pick it back up.
Yeah, you even see the truth of why your addiction.
Yeah, it's hard to get sober. But once you get sober, you want to stay sober. It's hard to get transparent. But once you are transparent, you want to stay transparent. Yeah. It's freedom.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So just again, to clarify that, when you're in your emotional hamster wheel, your mind, being transparent doesn't mean speaking on all your emotional stuff you're going through. Being transparent means really being connected to the heart and really being in a space of openness and there. Because I think when you think being transparent, you don't want to just say everything you're feeling when you're in a space of where you're not feeling in alignment with your own self. That's not transparency, right? That's something different.
Transparent is completely being honest no matter what you're feeling.
Okay.
No matter what you're feeling. I'm feeling bitchy today. I'm feeling puffy today. I'm feeling great today. I'm feeling like attacking you today. I'm feeling like that.
So it's not always going to be good.
It's not going to be good, but it's transparent. Oh, and it's being honest. It's being honest. And
explode that differently and look at it this way, Angelica. That is being good.
Mm.
If you're inside that bubble with one another and that's the freedom you have, that bubble continues to grow. And you get to become, you never look at each other and go, you're never going to change. You're going to stay this way. And you're going to stay just like we were in the bubble phase. And you're never allowed to have a thought process, and neither am I. And we're never going to talk about the past. We're never going to endure our emotional states. And we're never going to, you're creating rules. Get outside the rules. Rules are conditions. If this is unconditional love, why are you not making this unconditional? It's an experience. Be in it fully, emotional or not.
yeah, no matter what it is.
Oh my God. When that happened to us, when we really truly got to experience that, I think it was when we finally, this last time, came back together.
Mm-hmm.
And we spent time after time talking and just going into the pain and then just purging and purging. And the other person was like, and nobody left. Nobody walked away. Nobody turned their back. And our inner child came out and said, hey, you two want to trust each other? And they just went click.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. I could cry.
Somebody asking you, anybody, did you do that? Yes, I did.
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm. Did it. Why'd you do it? Mm.
I don't know.
Because and then the story.
Because I was unconscious?
The story is always going to follow.
Yeah.
And it's going to created the illusion. If you just get to the root of the story, what's the story? And you're always going to find at the beginning of every story, If there's a root of triggered illusion, it's a lie. So you just have to go, I'm saying the truth. I told myself a lie. I told myself I wasn't worthy of you. Told myself I wasn't whole without you. And I know that that must have created such a weight for you to carry, to be responsible for my wholeness, to be responsible for my happiness, to be responsible for my sadness. And no wonder you're not with me, because I didn't take any responsibility for it to realize that I could be responsible for it in myself. Because I am whole. I am my happiness. I am my sadness. I am my love. I am my... On and on and on and on. And you own it. I am doesn't need anything after it. It just has I am.
And you never have to worry about anything coming up. You never have to worry about looking over your shoulder. You never have to worry about anybody finding out anything that you don't want them to know. You never have to worry about anything being posted on the internet. Yep, that was me. Look at that.
Exactly.
Look at Sherry's mugshot. It happens.
I love it.
Complete transparency.
Yes. We're going to have to wrap this up, but hopefully this was something that we truly knew that you needed. We knew that we needed to talk with you and bring this out, because with all of these things that are coming and what the world is getting ready to do as far as waking up, being triggered into illusion was the message.
So it's powerful. I feel it on every level. It's big right now.
Yes.
Can you explain a little more, because I missed the first part of the call, explain a little bit more about what you're doing and your work and stuff like that, because I missed that, and I'd like to just read.
We have actually over the past year created an amazing coaching certification program. So we are now we have coaches in training. We've got another class starting soon, maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But we are now training coaches to take over our coaching clients, and then we're going to be referring clients to them. And then they just finished their first quarter and they've done amazing, and they're doing practice coaching. Then after the second quarter, we're going to be referring clients to them, and then they're going to be trained to do our root camp program to teach that. So our root camp clients will all be referred to our coaches, and then
let us tell you why.
The master course will be.
Let us tell you why all of that's happening, because I think that's what needs to be answered.
Yes.
Why all of these things that are happening, why we're doing the coaching certification, why we've done root camp, why we've done all of these things. Our mission, our union is our foundation. Our connection is our foundation. When we were dreaming the same dream and we woke up and we realized that we were talking to masses of people and saying, wake up, here's how. Here's what this unconditional love can do. Here's what it's here to do. Here's what this is supposed to do. Here's how it will heal all of this and place it into healing in such a way that things change. That's where we know. We can see it. Yes. And we can see it in each stage. As we've gone through the stages of what we've been going through, and even what we're doing in our union now, we still lose dreams of being able to speak to all of these different people in different countries, in different places, and the things that we know that we are meant to do.
Yeah, the dream was, we're going to be sitting in front of the computer talking to people all over the world. And that's what we've done. And we've done it a lot. And a lot of times we're sitting here from 9 o'clock in the morning until 11 or 12 o'clock at night.
And even then, when we dreamed of Kaylee, we dreamed of her talking to thousands of people. And Kaylee is Sherry's inner child.
Oh, I love that. So wait, is that your like middle name, or is that just the name you gave?
That's the daughter we lost.
Oh my gosh, how beautiful.
But it's us combined.
We allowed the universe to, we embraced what the universe had for us, and we've stayed on mission, and now the universe is moving us a little bit. So we've had to train some coaches to take over what we're doing, and then step at a time, obviously.
Yeah,
and
we're going to take them through it.
And we're taking them through it. But the master's program will end at the end of the year, and then eventually we're going to have our coaches, actually whoever in our coaching program wants to instruct the course, we're going to have them instructing the courses. we're going to be stepping away from the computer and getting in front of people. And we are touring this year. We are taking ourselves away, and we're going to major cities. New York, we're coming to, LA, and Chicago, Atlanta. We're going to Florida, a couple different places. Vegas, and
oh my gosh, I have chills all over my body.
We needed those coaches to take over what we've started, and to keep continuing. We're going to go on tour. We're going to be doing some expos and some conventions, and we're going to Australia at the end of the year, and we're going to be doing some conventions there and some seminars. So we're going on tour doing our seminars, and a lot of question and answer sessions, all kinds of really neat things.
We're going to show that energy can change everything.
Yeah.
Our energy.
The work that you two do is so transformational. It's so, the way that you explain things is just easy to understand. It's practical. You're doing the work. It's so beautiful. You're helping so many people, and it's time for this to happen. It's time for twins or these high vibrational relationships to finally come together, and for us to create this new way of life on the planet, and we can all be happy, and we can let go of the illusion.
Yes. Stop creating stories.
Yes.
Stop creating stories.
Become the writer.
Yes.
Become the writer of your story.
Oh, the writer.
Yeah, because you got a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
You have the story you're carrying, which is, of course, is going to be the ego. And then you have the person who's actually in the present moment, which is you as the writer. The writer is your knower. The writer is the wisdom.
So in the present moment, write your story. Write it in the now moment. Always. Keep it.
All you ever have.
Stay in tune with the story in the now moment, in that love. Okay, will you, for my viewers, tell people how they can reach you, your website, your YouTube channel, all of that, so that people know how to contact you?
We are on Google Plus and YouTube as Twin Flames Lee Sherry.
Or Relationship Reinvented.
Or Relationship Reinvented, either one. We are relationshipreinvented.com and twinflames.me.
Yeah.
Relationship Reinvented certification.com for those of you who are interested in becoming coaches. We have 2 Facebook pages. We have Relationship Reinvented Twin Flame Work Group and Relationship Reinvented, and a business page, Relationship Reinvented. Go hit like. That's always fun. Yeah. And our email is relationshipreinvent@me.com.
And we are completely immersed in this, but our union is primary. So know that.
Yes, it is primary. And I think that sometimes people forget that, and they try to do, because, you know, the mission's important, right? And so that's a problem I've always had. I've always like, oh, the mission. But it's like, no, I just realized the union is the foundation for it all to blossom from.
No mission without union.
There isn't. Oh my gosh, yes.
But the union has to happen inside yourself first.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you cannot be disconnected in here, then try to connect. You got to connect in here to be connected here, to connect as a union, to be able to do any kind of mission. And that's why we're constantly together. We get it. We got it. We know it.
You got it, and you're teaching people, and it's beautiful, and it's happening. Yay.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
What about you? Where can you can let our guys know where they can find you?
So I'm on YouTube at AngelStarCreations, and my main thing is talking about, well, my twin flame journey, because I'm also a twin, and I mainly talk about spiritual awakening and my whole journey with that. My big awakening didn't happen until I actually met my twin, and that took me out of the illusion for a bit, and then I went back into the illusion and then back out and keep going back and forth. My website is Angel Star Therapies, and I write a lot of blogs about health and healing and stuff like that. And on Facebook, I'm Angelica King. That's my name. So yeah, so that's how you can find me. And I'm just so blessed to be connected with the two of you. Your energy is just so radiant and beautiful. And we're all connecting now. We're all coming together. Now that we're letting go of this stuff, we can bring in our soul family. And it's just such a beautiful thing. And I'm so blessed. And I love you both so much. And
we are equally as blessed.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys all for watching. We've had quite a few viewers down here.
Yeah, I think we've had quite a few things that I thought we were going to be able to get to. Don't worry, we will go ahead, and I think that there's been some messaging that's probably happened on this YouTube channel. So don't worry, we will come in and chime in. Angelica, please come in and answer these as they show up when this gets published later on today.
Sure.
But thank you all very much. And remember, don't be triggered into your illusions. Realize the illusion of the truth. Are you being present?
Stay with yourself. Be with yourself, right? Be with yourself.
Moment. Do not resist what is. Do not make a story out of it, because the story is keeping the story alive.
Yes.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.